Good afternoon on what is a cool, slightly breezy but bright day. It is Monday the 23rd of August and I'm back in the Read Nook with a handful of parcels and of course a nice hot cup of tea. So let's get the first one of these open. On what we've got here. Oh, damn it. Okay. Is Parallel Worlds issue number 24. Now, this is an ongoing magazine, basically, and it's a general sort of like science fiction and gaming magazine that I have reviewed issue 22, I believe, or 21, something like that, recently as part of my Magazine Madness strand on the blog, and this will go into the same strand in a future issue. The likelihood is by the time you get to see this video, I will have reviewed this issue, or at least one of the previous ones. So first off, it's a really nice cover for the World of Myth computer game. Basically, a good list of sort of like content, and basically what it's offering is the best in escapism. So open up, and the first thing, basically if you're looking at a magazine, first thing you imagine adverts. So you've got an advert there for battle cards for the Elite Dangerous role-playing game. The Elite Dangerous role-playing game, I have reviewed that. And that's a little bit of an odd game in that you role-play characters who normally in the computer game operate by themselves, going from world to world in their spaceships and dealing with pirates and trading and that sort of thing and exploring. But in this, you do all together in your sort of essentially 1 or 2 man spaceships, which sort of gives it like an armada, sort of like mini fleet like feel. Anyway, onto the issue. Again, bright, colourful, and then this is available on drive-thru-rpg.com, which is where this print comes from. But you can see what it's going to look like because this magazine, essentially, this magazine is also available in your gaming stores if you go looking for it. And we have first off an interview with Brent A. Harris, who is the author of Alex and AI's Guide to Love and Murder, which sounds interesting. I mean, the thing is, I will probably prefer a bit more gaming in my magazine, as opposed to, not necessarily that I'm not interested in the article or the interview. Basically, I'll probably go and read that science fiction magazine instead. But this covers a bit, but Parallel Worlds covers a bit more than just gaming, and that's no bad thing. So we do actually get into the gaming with yet another interview with Treant Monk, who is creating his own community content for Dungeons and Dragons. There is the DM's Guild for that, and it's very busy. There's an awful lot on there. But I mean, the same game again goes for the drive-thru-rpg.com and its content, which supports more a much wider variety of different games. So with a general article on spaceships and space combat, this is basically a think piece, and it's really discussing what would spaceship combat be like in the future. It's called War on the Heavens, and it looks at various ideas, not just illustrated, but lots of example spaceships, which obviously the spaceship geeky me can recognise. So X-Wing, that's from the last Starfighter, TIE Fighter from Star Wars. You've got the Buck Rogers fighter, that's from Babylon 5, and of course Battlestar Galactica down there. So, but I really like the layout. It's nice and clean and easy to read. Quite a long piece, several pages there. Then one of the continuing threads in the issues that I've looked at so far has been Black Void, which is a Lovecraftian, well, basically it's a cosmic horror fantasy role-playing game set long after an apocalypse on Earth, which sends survivors from ancient Babylon to a far-flung world and where they survive at the bottom of the below the bottom rung of the ladder, against a sort of like basically a dark and unknown universe, and this showcases the artwork for it. There we go. And again, artwork is sometimes a little bit dark for my taste, but it's good. It's still good artwork. It basically puts a spotlight on the artists rather than the authors, which is always appreciated. Then the other common common thread running throughout all issues so far has been content for Chivalry and Sorcery 4th edition, and issue 24 is no different. So we have Lurker in the Night, a Chivalry and Sorcery 5th edition Marrakesh adventure by the games designer Stephen A. Turner. Accompanied with some rather nice maps. It's a short adventure by any standards. It's got clear stats, good map. That's 3 pages long. And then something a bit different, a new mission for Rangers of Shadow Deep called Stakeout. Now, Rangers of Shadow Deep is not a role-playing game that I've seen yet, or at least I've had a look at it. I've seen a copy. Looks interesting. It's written by Joseph McCulloch, who created Frostgrave and similar war games rules for Osprey Publishing before going freelance. And this is one of his creations since, which is a role-playing game I'm interested to review at some point. So you basically have a complete setup and the outcome experience and some events for the encounter, so which you can bring to your game. Next, in the GM or Games Master class, when dice fail. This is a discussion of when the dice let you down. Well, in some ways, do the dice let you down? It's a debatable point. Arguably, it's more a case of, well, the dice, basically the result on the roll is telling it has to be interpreted in a way that you weren't expecting, or is going in a different direction in which you anticipated, i.e. your story is basically going off, in a different direction. Then we have, looking at video games, Wildermyth. So the cover feature is, and it repeats the artwork, and I really love this artwork. It's for a computer game. It's terrific, and you can see it in play there. The artwork alone is enough to make me go and have a look, because it's completely different to sort of like the crisp, tight, sort of like spiky bits artwork you're going to get in a lot of fantasy games. And that is nothing to say against that, but this is just so different. It's a little bit softer. It's a little bit more. It's got a charm to it that sort of like many computer games graphics don't necessarily have. Last we have an original piece of fiction by Toshio Kamai called Moon Over Her Realm. And that runs the rest of the issue. Basically you've got a range of different things in there. It's good if you're a fan of Chivalry and Sorcery, if you like Black Void and sort of like, want to have a nice discussion of sort of like the artwork and a bit of advice in there. And it's all very nicely presented. Certainly worth picking up on the drive-through, I would have thought, in PDF if not in print. And of course there will be a review of it coming in due course for the magazine Madness Strand. I've got 4 issues, I think, of different magazines to review in the next one, which will be up by the time you get to see this video. Well, in the meantime, thank you for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you've enjoyed this, please do click the like button down below. If you've got any comments or feedback, I take the time to read those, and I appreciate you taking the time to post them. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me with a pile of parcels, something which I can talk about for 10 minutes or so of your time, to some degree of knowledge or other, and of course a nice hot cup of tea, then please hit that subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching. I'll be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.